We're going to talk about the elephant in the room, the conversation that everyone is having at dinner tables with friends, family, and at open houses. Stay tuned. The property market, is it stronger than you think?
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
All right. Good morning.
How are ya?
Yeah, really good. You?
Yeah, good. You look fresh, Billy Bob. Fresh.
I've just hit the week running, so to speak.
The old man in a young man's body.
Yeah.
Billy Drury.
Mum did my hair over the weekend. Been looked after. I had a great Sunday roast. Good weekend.
Let's get into it. So we've been looking at some stats on the property market, and it's quite dazzling, sort of what's happening out there. First one.
That's a massive sort of spanner in the works to people that are waiting for this stock to come on. So I was staying at an open home yesterday, and this is an entry-level home in Allambie Heights. Beautiful property. There's not a lot of stock in the price point, let alone the suburb. There's only 2 properties on the market, as per realestate.com, that buyers have got the option to choose from. And we're having the conversation, where's all this stock? And people have been coming off fixed rates now for the last 6-12 months. Why is it just not trickling through? And this is probably the answer. So 25% of homes in Australia's eastern states were bought without a mortgage last year. 25%, so 1 in 4. That's a pretty crazy number.
It's very foreign to me to see that. I'm like, really? But I guess as an agent, you don't really see into people's financials. Certainly as a mortgage broker, there's no necessity for you to even talk to this 1 in 4 people. But the fact is they exist, and that's the number.
So yeah, that's a breakdown. You can see there, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, all around that 25% mark. Median value 900,000. I think that's a really interesting number, because that's the kind of breakdown which will be someone selling a home, give or take, let's say $2 million. They either buy an apartment, around $1 million, mortgage free, and I've now got the excuse to relax and go bank a bit of money and go on holiday, or they're buying one property to live in and then a smaller investment.
So a really, really nice number, and 900 grand's a hell of a lot of money. I think we're probably a little bit tarnished as Northern Beaches real estate agent. Think, what can you buy for that house-wise? But that type 900K in Greater Sydney, is something that can get you a house and land package, a brand new home, no mortgage.
Yeah.
And I guess, Billy, some of these people have even opted for, since COVID, they've opted for a different part of Sydney. So they've sold them out of a more expensive part of Sydney, and then they've thought, let's go to Newcastle, or let's go to somewhere where we can have no mortgage and be a bit safer. So they've sort of sought a bit of an easier life and a bit of a safe haven.
I think it's it makes sense in the current climate. The bottom line there, a high proportion of purchases were made by retirees. And I had some news broken to me over the weekend that my parents are joining this club. It's a pretty exclusive club.
How's it going to affect you?
Well, we're being booted out of the house, so we're gonna have to find a new home.
I love your parents. I love them. That's best. So what are you going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to go to an apartment?
They're looking at selling the current home and making that similar sort of transition into a new place, which will be almost mortgage free, I think, and then potentially helping us get a leg up into a second home. But then it gives people the opportunity to just take some of that debt away and make a bit of savings, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear, Billy, but I'm also excited to hear it. Honestly, how did it make you feel when your parents said you got 12 months and you're out?
Not stressed. I've done it once before, but I've never lived with my brother. That's the really concerning part.
Good luck. Next one, sister suburbs. Now, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, sister suburbs, basically where if you're happy to move down left or right on location a little bit away from your dream suburb, you can make a heck of a saving.
Biggest concern that people have, I remember I was, when I was in Freshie, working in Freshie, two of my sales colleagues were buying houses, Jeff and Hilton at the time. And I remember there was a lot of ruckus in the office. We were mucking around, a lot of banter, because one of them bought on a really good street, probably one of the best streets in Freshie, Brighton Street, and one of them bought on Harbour Road, which is a really busy road, their family homes. So, any opportunity, cheeky salespeople were always knocking each other around. We were saying, mate, Hilton, you're not going to make as much money. He was almost, why I'm saying this is we're using this example of sister suburbs. This was sort of sister streets, which is the principle's the same. And they both sold about 5 or 6 years later. They both spent the same amount of money, and they both made the same percentage capital growth. Why I'm using this as an example is the sister suburbs are very, very similar. You can buy this in a great suburb next door, and the capital growth, that growth projection, will be the same.
So it's a bit small there. I need some glasses, but basically they're comparing Duffy's Forest, Terry Hills. There's a bit of a saving there. As far as the beaches goes, Curl, Narrowena, Collaroy, North Narrabeen, Freshwater, Brookvale, they're all offering quite a similar lifestyle. This is the difference of maybe a 5 minutes drive between places.
Hard for buyers to do. It's amazing mentally how hard it is to take a buyer from one suburb and put them into a cheaper suburb next door. People just mentally don't do it. But I do have to say, you're often going to make just as much, probably going to make just as much money out of it in capital growth from the example I just gave. And your mortgage is going to be significantly less.
Yeah. The lifestyle is similar. It's a win-win.
Yep. And then back to our median price is how we started the segment. So the mortgage cliff that everyone's talking about, there is always something someone's talking about, what's going to happen in 6 months, what's going to happen in 12 months. There's almost this looming threat. If it's not mortgage cliff, it's something else. So I'm just used to it.
You're just used to it. Do you think we're going to see a flux of stock?
No.
Just saying no. I'm saying if it hasn't happened already, it's unlikely it's going to hit the market like people think it will. We may see it trickle in, and that's no different to a seasonal adjustment. We always talk about a spring influx, and we always talk about a busy summer or quiet winter. There's no different to a seasonal change, but I don't think it's going to be any different to what we've seen before. It might change a little bit, but it's not going to be something too crazy, I don't think.
So the mortgage cliff, Luke's saying just build the bridge over it. Just build the bridge over it. I love that. It's that simple. So anyway, that's news for today. What's happening? Anything else to add, Billy? I'm sorry that you've been kicked out in 12 months.
Yeah, no problem, guys. No problem. Plenty of time to adjust. I'm just going to build a bridge of my own.
Yep. You just move on. You just adjust. You pivot, like we used to say at the beginning of COVID. You just keep throwing punches.
Keep going. That's it. Have a good day, guys.
Have a good day, everyone. Cheers. Thank you.